We have breaking news. A national security alert has been issued. Details are emerging. Stay tuned for updates.
Good evening. I am Abdul Fatahu, your host on Gold Empire TV News. The American Parliament have impeached Trump.
Is Trump leaving the White House or not? Let's hear from this video.
Chief Justice John Roberts called the Senate to order for the final vote on conviction. Quote, "The question is, shall the president be convicted on the articles of impeachment? Senators will vote aye or nay. The clerk will call the roll." The chamber fell silent. 100 senators, 67 votes needed. And for the next 17 minutes, as each senator's name was called, and each responded with guilty or not guilty, the math became clear. The clerk reported the tally to Chief Justice Roberts. Roberts stood, the chamber held its breath, and he announced the verdict that has never been announced in American history. Quote, "On this vote, the ayes are 68. The nays are 32. 2/3 of the senators present having voted guilty, the president is convicted on all articles of impeachment. Under the Constitution of the United States, the president is removed from office effective immediately." The Senate chamber erupted. Some senators stood and applauded. Others sat in stunned silence. 3 minutes after Chief Justice John Roberts declared him removed, the president posted on social media from the White House, quote, "The Senate vote is illegitimate and void. I do not accept this conviction. I remain President of the United States. I will continue executing my duties and I will not leave the White House." Before we go any deeper, make sure you subscribe and drop a comment telling us whether you believe the Senate's verdict will actually be enforced. Your engagement pushes this analysis to more viewers and keeps independent reporting like this alive. This is the beginning of the most dangerous phase. The Senate has removed the president, but the president refuses to accept removal. And for the next hours or days, the United States will have two people claiming to be president with no clear mechanism for resolving who actually holds the office. Turn on notifications, set them to all, because what happens in the next 24 hours will determine whether American democracy survived this crisis or whether we have entered a period of constitutional collapse where removal from office means nothing if the removed president has the power to resist. Here is what happened during that vote, because the roll call reveals which Republicans voted to convict and why the total reached 68. The clerk began calling names alphabetically. Senator Baldwin of Wisconsin, Democrat, voted guilty. Senator Barrasso of Wyoming, Republican, voted not guilty, and so it went for 15 minutes. But when the clerk reached McConnell of Kentucky, the chamber paused. Mitch McConnell, Senate Republican leader for 17 years, stood and stated clearly guilty on all 3 articles. The impact was immediate. McConnell's vote gave permission for other Republicans to follow, and they did. The 17 Republicans who voted guilty are Mitch McConnell of Kentucky, Mitt Romney of Utah, Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, Susan Collins of Maine, Bill Cassidy of Louisiana, Ben Sasse of Nebraska, Richard Burr of North Carolina, Pat Toomey of Pennsylvania, Rob Portman of Ohio, Tom Tillis of North Carolina, Shelley Moore Capito of West Virginia, Joni Ernst of Iowa, Mike Rounds of South Dakota, Todd Young of Indiana, John Thune of South Dakota, Roger Marshall of Kansas, and Cindy Hyde-Smith of Mississippi. The last 2, Marshall and Hyde-Smith, were surprises. Neither had signaled publicly that they would vote to convict, but both stated after the vote that the evidence of Supreme Court defiance was disqualifying. When the tally was announced, the math was clear. 51 Democrats and independents voted guilty. 17 Republicans voted guilty. Total 68. Exactly 1 more than the 67 required. The president was convicted on Article 1, defying Supreme Court authority, convicted on Article 2, abuse of emergency powers, and convicted on Article 3, obstruction of justice. He is the first president in American history to be removed from office by Senate conviction. Hit that like button right now if you understand the magnitude of this moment. The Senate just removed a sitting president. The algorithm decides what breaks through. You decide whether this analysis reaches people who need to see it, because what I am showing you is a constitutional system attempting to enforce its most severe remedy for presidential misconduct. The president responded. His post on social media stated, "The Senate vote is illegitimate and void. I do not accept this conviction. I remain President of the United States." I will continue executing my duties and I will not leave the White House. That post was written before the vote concluded. He was prepared to reject the verdict before it was announced. And now the question is whether anyone can compel his compliance. In a separate location away from the White House, the vice president took the oath of office